How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
What is up, Will?
What's up, dude?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing. Still don't have my voice fully yet, so I hope
whirlwind
I'm not annoying to sound to.
Whirlwind the last couple of days. But hey, welcome everybody to Story of the Fight. My name is Ramiro. That's my boy Will. This is where we cover all things combat sports. Today we'll be covering 168. We'll be talking a little bit about some of the experiences we had being live in person, in the flesh, Will, if you will, at the event. But before we do, I want to remind everybody, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that fun stuff. We're trying to reach 15,000 subscribers. We're getting very inching our way over to the 15K.
You're close, for sure.
But if you don't like watching, like listening, what are the other options, Will?
Yeah, it's at Story of the Fight everywhere. We live stream on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, but you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, anywhere podcasts are found. Storyofthefight.com. Click that. It'll show all of our links. Click through, subscribe, all that jazz. Let's just get into it, huh?
Let's get right into it. First, go to Genevieve. She says hi in the chat. Austin says, let's go. This one with the little clappy hands emoji. And what would you say that one is? I don't know. But, dude, let's just get started with the main event. Superlek versus Haggerty. I was looking forward to this fight. You were at the event, Will. There's multiple one in me. What fight are you looking forward to? And I was like, hey, this doesn't sound like a generic answer, but Superlek versus, man, like the main event. Come on. I know that there's a lot of great fights, right, but that's the one that I was looking forward to the most. Superlek coming in almost superhuman at this point. Jonathan Haggerty coming champ. Dude, how'd you see this fight going down before? You know, actually, what would you rate this card?
Oh, man.
Look, we might have some recency bias. Also have a bias on the way that we actually cover the fight.
Yeah. Real quick, anyone in the chat, let me know if it's if the stream's choppy at all. I'm running it this time. Rich is not here because it's a different time. Ramiro's coming through a little choppy for me. If it's not for everybody else, we'll just hunker down and bear through it. But we'll see what people say. But yeah, if I'm rating the card, honestly, man, like there was some issues going into it. Like a lot of pullouts, a lot of like, it was looking a little dark for a second. There was there was just some issues, right?
Yeah.
That being said, this might be like a 9 out of 10.
Oh my goodness. This might
Bro.
This might be the first time, Will, that you and I have agreed. The exact number I had in my head, 9 out of 10, which is a rating for me. It also makes me think, what if Mikey Musumeci had have torn his lung, right? Had to pull out of that co-main event. But earlier we were talking to one of the employees and who said everything happens for a reason. It really does. And I think that going from Seksan versus Liam Harrison straight to Superlek versus Hag almost amplified the main event for me.
Yeah, Mikey Musumeci was supposed to be the co-main event in a grappling match against Cade Rotolo for Cade's belt. That would have been amazing, right? Huge for jiu-jitsu, huge for one jiu-jitsu specifically. Cade just coming off winning CJI. I think maybe he was injured from that, and that's why he had to pull out. I don't know for sure. Real quick, shout out Chester. Catch up later. Yeah, we were actually chatting with Chester on the trip. Good guy. But thanks for joining us. Austin and Genevieve says, not choppy for me. Genevieve says, Ramiro's a little choppy, but not bad. Chummy Boy says the highlight was the full fight. Yeah, basically.
Oh, for real.
But yeah, so it was supposed to be Cade versus Mikey. That fell through. They got Oliveira to fight Mikey at his weight class now, and everyone's like, "Oh wow, that was like 3 days before the event, they get that opponent for Mikey."
Yeah.
Man, and I know we're supposed to be talking about Superlek Haggerty, but we got to go into this. And we might as well now, right?
Yeah. I guess we should have started right with all the drama leading up to.
Yeah.
Built the hype up even more for the event.
It definitely built the discussion up, right? Which is
Yes. Yes. More attention to it.
yeah. I'm doing my best here. I don't know why, but you talk, and then like 3 seconds later, all your voice comes through. Hopefully, it's just my. It sounds like it's just my connection. Maybe everybody else, no one else is talking about it, but I'll do my best. But if there's like a delayed reaction to when you say something, that's why. Yeah, Mike, it's tough, man. We were at the weigh-ins, right, in the morning, and it was like what? It's a 3-hour window, and there's 30 minutes left. Mikey shows up, and you're like, "Oh man, I hope he makes this." And if he doesn't, you got 30 minutes, right? It's tough. Of course, he doesn't. He missed hydration. He missed weight, and then, dude, everybody's like whole demeanor. It was just like, oh no, like what just happened? Mikey missed hydration and weight. Like it was crazy. Like everybody just like it, dude. It was silent, and we were all just like, oh no.
And this is when I posted. I said my weight misses hydration, but we have 22 minutes. At this point, we had seen Maurice. He was having a really hard time with hydration. Come in and out. He's gonna walk back in the next 10 minutes, right? He's gonna be back in the next 5 minutes, right?
Surely he'll make it work.
Yeah. And I'm like, on here. Hey, shout out Ricky, by the way. Saying good to see y'all. Nice. Shout out Ricky. Blunderbug joining us as well. My highlight for the weekend was Padilla being like,
yeah. He saw the Superlek elbow and then did it himself in the UFC this weekend. But yeah, shout out Rick Lane, man. Super good photographer. I mean, some of the shots he got over this weekend was just insane. I mean, just crazy. And then let's see. Do you have another angle of Superlek win? The vids I see on X looks like he came in low and headbutted Haggerty. The ref was blocked out the way, so it looked like a short right hook. It was an elbow over the top, countering the right straight. We will be showing it from an angle where you can see it, so stick around. We will get to that. Austin says, "Okay, Ramiro is a little choppy. Kind of sounds like a robot." Okay, we'll see what we could do. Hopefully that clears up. But yeah, so Mikey does miss. He does not come back. He does not try again. It turns out the next morning he's in the hospital. He tore his lung. Just a harsh weight. It's horrible. The whole situation's horrible. And it sucked. Everything about it just sucked. Nobody liked it. Nobody wanted that. And the reason we went to that is because that was supposed to be the co-main, right? And you had mentioned the momentum from Seksan versus Haggerty or Harrison to go into Superlek versus Haggerty really did work well for the show as a whole. And going from Seksan to Harrison to then a jiu-jitsu match and then to Superlek Haggerty, for some people, it probably would have dropped the momentum. Yeah, I love jiu-jitsu. I love grappling. Even for me, that probably would have dropped some of the even if it was great, it probably would have dropped some of the momentum because Seksan versus Harrison was just crazy, right? To go from that to jiu-jitsu is different from going from that to a title fight, a super fight in Muay Thai. It's just different, right? So ultimately, for the event itself, maybe it sounds horrible to say. I don't even want to say it. It probably benefited.
And there's, but you're not hating on Mikey, right? We all wish Mikey was there. It was an unfortunate situation. and we're not trying to say that because Mike was not there, the card didn't to work out this time around.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. With that being said, we can get into the main event. Superlek versus Haggerty. You want to see an angle of the knockout. I believe we have a good angle of the knockout. Yes, we do. Courtesy of One Championship. Thank you for letting us show your footage. Once again, thank you for everything. Literally everything y'all have done. I was going to do as a joke the Wayne's World, the Reebok, right? With all the stuff. I was going to wear one hat, the one lanyard, the one hoodie, take that off, and then, it's a one shirt underneath as just a gag, right? Because we're gonna glaze this event so much, people are gonna think that we're sponsored or something.
One or something? No, we're not.
Yeah, definitely not. Let's see. I'm just queuing this up. One sec. Okay, we got it. So not like Chummy Boy, hand trap elbow, not a head, but let's watch it. Come on.
Beautiful.
And
Will, when this went down, we were recording our reactions, right? And in our jaws dropped, and we just looked at each other and looked, what just because the way that Haggerty went down was a little, to the point that was made earlier. It was kind of a hard happen. Show the replay on the it was the same thing. Everybody gasped again, and was in shock.
And to even add to that, it was like 46 seconds into the fight, so it was like they were really just starting to feel each other out, and then it's over, and you don't even really know what happened. The whole arena was just like, "What the fuck just happened?" Like. Austin says, what was the audience's reaction when he dropped suddenly? I wish they had a crowd cam for it. I mean, it really was. Everybody was just like, what the fuck just happened? It was crazy.
Yeah, and then there was he went down, but at the exact same time there was confusion because he went down so quick. It was an interesting.
Yeah, and Ricky was sitting right next to us. It went insane. I mean, definitely, yeah, and then everybody was like, "What the fuck just happened?" And what's so crazy is you talk. Here's a shot of the elbow again. The fucking photography, it's just so good this weekend, all around.
So good.
In a moment like that where it's so fast, and it's like some people might be like, "Oh, it's a fluke. It's some exchange. He got caught." No. That's what's so good about Superlek. Like, he's doing things that like the naked eye can't even see. Like the naked eye can't see.
Absolutely just amazing, man.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel so bad for Haggerty, man, because like the narrative going into this, right, was like, Haggerty's been here for a month already in Colorado, training at altitude, getting used to the altitude. Superlek barely got there like the week of the fight, right? Like what's gonna happen? Everybody was asking him, like, what are you gonna do with the altitude? You just got here, you didn't acclimate. And he's like, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. He said pre-fight, he's like, my elbows are gonna make this happen.
Did you see how he was training with Corey Sanders? And after that training, Superlek was gasping for air. That he's in high altitude and how that was going to. At that point in time, I was like, oh shit, I'm going to need to finish this.
Yeah. And well, that's the funny thing. So like that was the narrative, right? Like the altitude's going to get the Superlek if this fight goes longer. It's tough. It's going to be tough to put out Haggerty. And Superlek's, I'm not worried. Rick says, oh shit, I might have a better clean shot of that elbow. That'd be interesting to see.
I bet.
Yeah.
He did a fantastic all night. We were sitting right next to Rick, and he kept on camera with the pictures. And Will and I, all we kept on saying was like, "That's an amazing shot."
Dude, it was crazy. Yeah, every single time I was like, "Oh my god, what a shot!" And thank you, Rick. There was a couple times where we were like, "Hey, do you mind just shooting this real quick?" And then he's like, "Dude, I got you." And just immediately, just fantastic photographer.
Yeah,
But yeah,
absolutely.
so it was so fast. No one knew what the hell happened. And in those moments, it's almost like Superlek, man. It's like he's fighting in slow motion, dude. Like he just knows. He knows. First of all, he understands fighting. His fight IQ is fucking crazy. Like you go back to that Takeru fight,
Mhm.
and his game plan for the Takeru fight is inside leg kicks to take away the step into the power overhand right from Takeru, because Takeru loves throwing the big overhand, the inside leg kick all night, chewing up his lead leg so he can't step in and throw that. And then in this fight, he's like, I might not even, before the fight, he said, I might not even throw any leg kicks this fight. And everyone's like, oh, Superlek, you always throw leg kicks. He didn't. He didn't need any.
Thank you, Genevieve, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah. Austin says, it sucks because Haggerty really wanted to show his improvements and just got starched. I feel for the dude. Gotta imagine he's going to come back strong as ever, though, now to prove something. Yes, I agree. Sometimes a loss can do good things for you. And in this fight, it's not like he was flatlined out cold. He got dropped by this elbow and was still conscious, but clearly unable to continue. But there's a difference between that and being completely flatlined, right? And it's not like he took
and Will, really good about Haggerty the entire time. You know, look, we saw Harrison in the lobby. He looked a little sucked up, right? Sucked in,
he
and
had a hard time with the weight cut.
Weight cut, yeah. I continued seeing Haggerty in the lobby. I saw Haggerty, right? I specifically told Haggerty, "Man, you're looking good, looking so ready to go." And he said, "Always," and he gave me a quick dabs. But like, I just been preparing. He's in phenomenal shape right now. He's ready to go. So I was almost leaning half.
Yeah, and we talked about I think the day of the fight, we were sitting down in the lobby and we were talking about all the things in Haggerty's favor, right? Like leading into this fight. And remember I was like, even with all that, Superlek's so good, he could just roll out of bed and just beat anybody on the planet. So like logically going into this, there are so many reasons to back Haggerty going into this fight, but Superlek's just on another level sometimes, man. And I mean, going through Rod Tang, Takeru, and now Haggerty and Kong Torni in between, but to go that run is crazy, man. And to do it like this, and another reason why, there's two reasons why I think this loss might be good for Haggerty. Number one, like I said, it was a big, quick knockdown or knockout, basically, but he wasn't flatlined. The second thing is, sometimes it takes someone exposing a flaw in your game for you to correct it. And if you keep beating people, you're never going to address that flaw. I don't want to say never, but it's harder to. It's harder to address a flaw when you keep winning. You almost need a reason to say,
if doing is working, why change anything?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Perfect example of that, where he's like, "Hey, I'm really going to have to revisit my approach with my entry." Right? Because when you face somebody like a Superlek, like you said, IQ, you just can't do that.
No. And we asked him, well, you asked Superlek, is this something that you saw going into the fight, or is this something that you happened to just find in the moment, right? And he was like, no, the way Haggerty enters and the way he throws his cross, we knew that we could time it and we could counter that. And fucking, that's what he did. Genevieve says, I really can't hear Ramiro anymore. I'm catching maybe 3 words a sentence. Okay, that's what's happening to me. Maybe Ramiro, if you want to drop out, come back in. I'll let you back in. There he goes. So I'll just keep talking to y'all. But yeah, the fact that Superlek saw that, it's actually a counter that he landed in their first fight before one. So the fact that he saw that coming into it and he capitalized on it, that might be enough for Haggerty to say, okay, look, clearly I have tendencies that I'm not aware of, but other fighters are now aware of, and I can't be fighting guys at the top of the heap like Superlek with these same tendencies, especially now that he's publicly talked about that tendency and how to capitalize on it and has shown that you can capitalize on it. So, like, that's, I guess, a silver lining you could say for Haggerty. Moving forward, he can, like, address certain things. Like, I mean, that's sometimes a blessing, right? If someone highlights a flaw in your game, that you can then go, great, I can now work on this. It's a lot harder to see that in yourself while you're still beating the best of the best of the best of the best. You know what I mean? So, silver lining for Haggerty there. Superlek now gets the belt. They might do a rematch, especially because some of you guys are asking what's next for Haggerty. They might do a rematch. And as Chummy Boy says, he's still got that kickboxing belt, and Superlek's talked about that a bit, saying like, "Hey, he's got the kickboxing belt. I'll come for that." So maybe they do that. Maybe they do a rematch and just run it back all the same rules. I don't know. I don't know what they do. My guess would be that they're going to do another a rematch here, specifically because it's some of the best strikers in the world, obviously, and the fact that it was so quick. I mean, we did run into some people. This isn't a knock for me. I don't really care. But some people felt like it was a little like anticlimactic to have a big event like this and have all these crazy fights, and then the final fight you want like a war, you want like a drawn out strike like slugfest, and then you get like a quick one shot knockout in 45 seconds. Some people, that's like, damn, like we never really got into it. So because of that, that's another reason they might do a rematch. It looks like Ramiro's back here. Hopefully, let's see.
Better?
Ramiro's
Is this
back.
better?
So far, so good.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, so far, so good.
Maybe just rebooting was the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, seems like it's working to me.
Sweet.
If the chat lets me know, I mean, you guys are all on watch duty. Rich isn't here to produce the show, so I'm gonna need y'all to help out. Let me know if it happens
Yeah,
again.
and look, I'm super glad you said just log out, because if there's ever a card that I did not want this to be happening on, man, it's this one right now. I'm like so sad that I had to log off and log back in at all. So I apologize to everybody, and also anybody that's tuning in to us for the first time. I promise this doesn't happen all the time, so my apologies. Still make sure you like and subscribe. But yes, so I heard you talking about the fact that some folks were disappointed with the fact that the fight didn't go on too long.
Kind of felt like
okay,
that.
And the two guys that we talked to in the street said the exact same thing. Remember that? They're like, hey, this was our first one event. We love the one event, but we only give it an 8 because the main event didn't go on that long. But
yeah. But that being said, also
do?
shout out our boy, the interpreter. I mean,
Pepper?
Straight up, dude. This guy, we're hanging out with him the whole week, and he's like, talking to us about the importance of translating. Frank couldn't make it. Everybody loves Frank.
Everybody
Also,
loves Frank.
if anybody needs reassurance that one loves Frank, besides the fact that they gave him a fucking bonus, obviously they love him, right? Multiple people that work for one were telling us how they also feel that Frank is like an integral part
of the experience, they said.
Yes. And
I couldn't agree more.
And our boy here understands that as well. And he was talking to us in the lobby before the fight, like the day of the fights, talking about how the translation matters for multiple reasons. It matters because the fighter needs their words translated and their emotions translated and their character translated to the US audience so that the fans know that fighter and they can back that fighter better, right? That's important. The other thing is the Thai fans back home watching this, like when Mitch gives the bonus, right? $50,000 doesn't mean anything to some people, right? Because they don't speak English. So when he translates that, he needs to hype that up too and translate that to them for them to be like, oh, I mean, how many times do you see the Thai fighters when Mitch yells they got $50,000? They're just like,
their excitement.
And then when Frank does it, right? They that's when they go nuts. Shit, right? So fantastic job translating. Did a very, very good job. I think, like Genevieve says, he really did a wonderful job. It felt like a great stand-in for Frank.
Absolutely.
Austin says Frank Light. I called that guy.
That's a compliment.
Yeah.
Pepper, if you watch this, that's a compliment.
Very good. He told us after the show, he's like, guys, like my Facebook's like blowing, like everybody's like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, you earned it, bro. You earned it.
Absolutely.
But very good job.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I am sorry to you as well. We all know what else you covered, right? But overall, fantastic main event. For one, to bring Superlek and Haggerty to the U.S. specifically, I think that was huge for the brand.
Yeah, and well, one thing too that we didn't even touch on, like we talked about the Cade Mikey stuff, mishaps going into the fight, but the biggest thing, it was supposed to be Panda versus Stamp. That was supposed to be the main event of this card, and that fell through. Right, Stamp tore her ACL, I think, something in her knee. I don't remember specifically if it was ACL, but it was something in her knee. Had to get surgery. That was back in June. Obviously, you can't recover that quick, just a few months, but it's like people were worried that coming back to America, look, they sold out the last stadium when they came here for their debut, but there was so much hype on that because it's their first ever US show, right? It's their first ever US show. It was stacked. They had so many fighters on it. They had Mighty Mouse in the trilogy fight with Moraes, and we'll talk about Mighty Mouse later. They had Stamp on it. Like it was just like a crazy card. So obviously it sold very well. They sold out. Then they said, look, we're going back to Denver, but we're doing it in the fucking whatever Denver's basketball team stadium. Yeah. So it's a massive stadium. It's bigger, or arena, not stadium, but it's an arena bigger than the last one. Arguably on paper, a weaker card, right? So you're like, and then it loses the main event, and you're like, oh shit, no Stamp to sell this card. Obviously, Haggerty versus Superlek is like a crazy good fight, like one of the best fights you could possibly watch matchup wise. But the casual audience in America probably doesn't really know that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, so it was a little worrying. But I can tell you, even with that, that shit was packed.
And by the way, just trying to research it, Chaudhry a while back said it's a sad thing. One of her final sparring sessions, prep for the big event in a couple of weeks, she blew out her knee. 80% of her meniscus was torn off her knee.
Yeah.
And it was a nasty takedown
Meniscus.
that she got caught in. Her knee buckled. She went in for surgery. Very successful surgery.
Yeah, very good. Ganskow said, I was looking forward to Stamp. There was a lot of people. I saw so many people on Reddit talking about, man, I bought tickets to this, but now I don't even want to go. The only reason I even bought them was for Stamp. And then that pulled out. So it was like, oh, what's going to happen here? That shit was like, I don't think they sold out, but I think it was like 90 to 95% sold out.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
They did very well. Let's just put it that way. It was a huge success.
Austin says, one's popularity is undeniable in the U.S. now. Am I crazy? The love seemed real from what I saw back home. What was the vibe like in the arena? I am going to be 100% honest here. I do not think it is undeniable yet.
Not yet.
I think the product is undeniable. Anybody who watches the fights are going to say this shit is fucking awesome. But not everybody has yet. But that being said, and we'll tell you that we were walking back from the arena at like midnight back to the hotel, and there's these two dudes that were like on the street, and we saw that they had the wristbands. These bad boys, one of these guys, the light up wristbands they give you at the stadium, and we're like, oh, what'd you guys think? Like, how'd you guys like it? And they were like, oh yeah, like we didn't even know like what it was. We just knew that there was fights, so we like got tickets, and we never like really heard of it. And they're like, I didn't know Herb Dean. They were like fixated on Herb Dean working for one. They're like, I didn't know Herb Dean was gonna ref. Like that was crazy.
Yeah.
Like Herb Dean gets a big pop at one events
Every time.
Yeah, and shout out Herb Dean. But so like that was like they didn't even know what it really was. They were like, we're just gonna go see this. And we're like, what would you rate it? And they were like, the main event was kind of like quick and like basically they thought it was anticlimactic, the main event. But even with that, they were like 8 out of 10. And that shit sums up, I think, where one is at right now. They didn't know what it was. They were local. They saw fights were happening. So they're like, let's check it out. even with a lackluster main event, it's still an 8 out of 10 because, dude, the whole way through the crowd was fucking crazy. It was so
Yes.
crazy. And one does a great job. We're making a video of, we've got a ton of footage from our trip there, and we're gonna make a video of like how it like what it is like at a one event because it's fucking crazy.
The
Like
one
the
experience.
production, yeah, the production value, they know how to get a crowd fucking into it. You know what I mean? Like they're
Yes.
doing things to get you into it. The video wall's crazy. There's lasers, there's fucking lights. Dom Lau goes off. Like during the fights, there's a massive heartbeat playing in the stadium.
Oh, it's
And
insane.
and once it hits a minute or 2 minutes or something left in the round, it speeds up. So like everybody's fucking pulled into this fucking experience. So even if you don't know what one is or you don't know any of the fighters, if you check it out, you're gonna be like, "Holy shit." So they're on their way. I don't think it's undeniable yet, but
Look,
it's
Austin, right now it's still to the point where, and one of somebody from one told us there's a lot of research that goes into where they're going, right? So
Mhm.
they're going to be going to Atlanta later on. I'm sure that they're working on other cities as well, but they're specifically taking a look at, how many jiu-jitsu gyms, how many Muay Thai gyms, how many MMA gyms are in the area in general. They're taking a look
Yeah.
at all the different demographics in the area to decide, okay, this is where we're going to hold an event. I think that
Mhm.
once we know one has made it is when we're going to start seeing them in every state, in random cities where they don't
Mhm.
necessarily have to worry about doing all this research because they know that one is here and here to stay. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But yes, and Blunderbub says something hilarious. He said, imagine just wandering into this car. To your point, like they're like, yeah, we didn't know what one was. We knew there was some
Oh
fights.
my god.
They're probably like, what is going on here? Like, we thought these were just local regional fights, and this arena is sold out. The production's off the charts. Like,
Oh
what is
man.
this? That's so funny.
Dude. I mean that's fucking crazy, dude. That's like nah, I'm not even gonna go into it. It's a weird tangent. We always do like weird analogies, and I feel like we probably shouldn't. Like it fucking kills the momentum a little bit. But yeah, that's the event was fucking crazy as a whole. It they just fucking kill it, and that's why I was like so excited that me and Ramiro were both going to this because this is my fourth one event. This is Ramiro's first, and it's like you do almost like obviously you can become a fan never going to their events. I became a fan long before I could even fucking dream of going to an event because they're all in Singapore and stuff, and I just can't go, right? But like when you actually go to an event, it's fucking insane. When I met Chatri in the Philippines, the first thing he said to me was like, "What do you think of the production here?" And I was like, "Dude, it's fucking crazy." And he's like, "Yeah, it's cool on TV, but fucking this is the real deal. Like, it's crazy, man. It really
Yeah,
is." Um,
absolutely.
yeah. Let's see. Maybe a stupid question. Do you guys think they have a chance of overtaking the UFC? Mm,
I'll let you answer this one first. I have my
you,
take.
you son of a bitch. Um,
Here, I'll go. Yes, I think that they do have a chance, but I don't think it's going to happen overnight. And it's going to take a
yes,
lot. It's going to take a lot.
yes,
We actually talked to somebody else about this, and they said, hey, the UFC has been around since, over 20
93.
years. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it took a long time in order for them to become the UFC, right? Like
yeah.
the organization itself is bigger than the fighters. Right now, I still think that we have some fighters that are bigger than one.
Mhm.
But with what one's doing, and as long as they continue pulling off these types of cards, if you are an MMA fan, if you're a true MMA fan, you have no choice but to be pulled into one. Austin said it earlier. I think he said, seeing Ramiro interview Adrian Lee was nuts because a year ago I didn't know one. And
Yeah,
now I'm sucked in because I love good fights. I
yeah.
love watching good fighters. I love seeing the art of mixed martial arts
Mhm.
on full display. And
Yes,
the more I watch it, there's no better place to see a full display
yes.
of the
No,
martial
true.
arts.
It is
Seeing the best of the best.
ultimately, it is a better product. That and if as long as they can continue on the path that they're on, then yes, they can because it is a better product, and they can almost stand on the shoulders of the UFC in a sense that like the UFC did pave the way in America to get MMA legalized in all 50 states, for God's sakes. Like it wasn't even legal. It's in a bunch of states, right? So like they can leapfrog or jump on the back of the UFC. UFC paved all this way. Now one can step in with a better product, right? Like they really
Yes.
can. And
Yes.
it does seem like at first thought like it's impossible, right? Like you can't overtake the UFC is so fucking big now. The UFC made more last year than all combat sports combined,
Yes.
including boxing. Including boxing.
That's insane.
So like it really can. And it does seem impossible, but like, dude, you know what else seemed impossible on a much smaller scale? This
What?
fucking event. A lot of
Yeah.
people like going into this. If you looked at social media, a lot of people were like, "This is probably one's last event." Like they're like, "Oh, they're about to go." They've always every year one's going to go bankrupt this year. Oh, they're not going to make it to the end of the year. People have been saying that for 5 fucking years. But going into this one, it was like stamps out. They don't have a headliner. Like Superlek Haggerty is a headliner in terms of quality of fight, but it's not in terms of name value in America, right? I don't think anybody can argue that. And then the Mikey situation, like it's just like all these things happened, and everyone's like, "Fuck, dude! Like, are they even going to be able to pull this off? Like, it's looking dark here, and it's expensive to bring everybody to America and do this. And if it doesn't work, that's a huge loss."
Yes.
But then they fucking knocked it out of the park. They
Absolutely knocked it out of the
absolutely
park.
knocked it out of the park. And that's just like that's like almost like a small picture of what the larger scale can be as well. Like it looks impossible and it's looking a little dark, but like as long as they can keep delivering like this, like how can you stop it? Like it's not gonna.
MMA needs them. We
Yes.
need one.
Yeah, true. And
Because
everybody wants them to
would
fail, and you're
we
like,
know about
why?
Superlek? Would we know about Jonathan Haggerty? Will we know
Yeah.
about Seksan? You know, like we need one.
Yeah.
And Genevieve brings up a really good point. And do you remember exactly what I told this one employee? Will I said the good thing is that one doesn't need to overcome the what is this? This is barbaric. I don't want my kids watching this. That like everybody's past that already. We're past that in mixed martial arts. So to Genevieve's point, they already had that springboard.
There's some
one
pavement.
was able to avoid that. So maybe it's not going to be 20 years for one, but I also don't think it's going to happen in the next couple years, if that makes sense.
True. Yeah, no, that's exactly. They're they're trying to the goal is to do 4 US events a year. Like once per quarter basically, right? That is ambitious. I think they can do it as long as commissions approve the rule set. They obviously we have Atlanta, obviously we have Denver. There's other states that are rumored to have already agreed to the rule set, and they just haven't publicly announced that it's approved. So, like, if more states and more markets are become available, and they can start doing, like, that's what it's going to take. You can't keep going to Denver every year. Maybe you can every year, but it can't be. If you do 4 events a year, 3 of them can't be Denver. You know what I mean? Like you do
Yes.
have to start showing other people, right?
Absolutely.
And shout out Chummy Boy. Also, Story of the Fight got a press card at one, baby. LOL.
Let's go.
Yes. And so, like, some people are gonna see this episode and be like, "Fuck these shills." Like,
Yeah.
100% people are gonna be.
100%. Hey, by the
But,
way,
like, that's
shout
just
out to Just a Dream, who's joined us as well. And he says they don't have to be in MMA only like the UFC. They could do a multi-sport card like this, especially Muay Thai. Just a Dream.
Yes.
Muay Thai with the 4-ounce gloves. I've been talking nonstop about it for the last like 6 months. It's my favorite right now. It's my favorite.
Dude, you watch. Oh, God, it's just so fucking good. Yeah, you watch some of these fights. All right, enough about the event. Let's fucking go through these fights, huh?
Yeah, I know. It's just such a good event.
I know. We're 40 minutes in. We talked about one fucking fight, and we only talked about the fight for like fucking 5 minutes.
Jeez. Okay. Well, hey, do you want to go on to the co-main event? Because we already talked about the main event. It was amazing. You know, let's move on. We had Seksan versus Liam Harrison. Liam Harrison, man, coming in. By the way, super brave, right? Going into this, knowing that this is probably the last fight of his career. And he says, yeah, I'll go. I want Seksan. He said he specifically wanted Seksan.
Yeah. And the marketing for this fight was 2 legends, right? Both are a little bit older, longer in the tooth in their career. both been in dogfights, both been in wars. Harrison, in one of arguably the best fight of all time. Harrison has been in arguably the best fight of all time against Muay Thai. Like, if anybody hasn't seen that fight, it's free on YouTube. Watch that fucking fight. It's insane. And Seksan is in dog fights every
All the
goddamn
time. He
Every
only
time.
knows one way.
He only knows one way, and the man yields to no one. It's
Not
one of the best
one
nicknames.
person.
It's one of the best nicknames, and I mean, just fucking. This is a legendary fight. It's
Yes.
a legendary fight. And yeah, Blunderbuff says at least the best comeback. At least the best comeback. Czech Congo, Pat Barry's up there as well. But that was a crazy fucking fight.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're gonna be skipping some fights, but we got to talk about this one. Look, legendary fight. You mentioned it. This is Harrison's return fight. He fought Nongo. He got leg kicked to death. Got finished with leg kicks against Nongo. And then he had that weight mishap with the scale not being accurate. And then he was like, "What the fuck?" And then the fight didn't go through. And then this is his comeback fight. Long time out. Seksan's a dog, and I mean immediately. He walks out with fucking Goldberg,
which was awesome. By the way, the crowd is so loud. The music's bumping. You feel the bass running through your chest, and yet all you could hear is Goldberg yelling at the top of his lungs. And that, like,
how was that even
just
possible?
took over. I don't know, but that's all I could hear when he was yelling.
It's like he was mic'd up, but like
it was so weird. He was so loud.
Possible, yeah. And I mean, it was just a great walkout. Seksan walks out. The crowd goes crazy for Seksan. And you just love to see that. Rod Tang talked about it when he came last year. And he was like, he didn't know what the U.S. was going to think if they even knew who he was. And so the reception to Rod Tang, he was like, I never even like imagined it. And so now you see these guys where everyone's like, no one's going to go to this, stamps off the card. That was the headliner. And what do they got now? And Superlek and Seksan both have a full fucking arena cheering their names, screaming for it. Like, it was just so cool. But the fight itself, these guys just fucking threw down, dude. Immediately started throwing down. And it was tough though, because like Harrison said it in the post-fight press conference. He's like, I'm getting older now, and like some of the shots I used to be able to take, I just can't anymore. And it's like,
by the way, one of the best post-fight press conferences I've ever seen, right? Somebody asked him, they're like, hey, you got punched in the back of the head. How much did that have to do with you losing the card? And he says, mate, I was fucked anyway.
Yeah.
Like he just admitted, like, I was already rocked. I was going to go out no matter what. Like, the back of the head, like that finished me, but I was done.
Yeah.
It was so good.
He was like a gust of wind would have knocked me out after that.
Yeah. He's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, just seems like a great guy. So this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough to watch. But even in this, he's still fucking. That wasn't even it, dude. He got up from that. He got up from that shit.
I know. A little bit of a long 10 count, I feel like.
No.
Because look, right here, he's still out. He's still out. Look.
No, dude. He's a dog. Let him go.
He's a dog. Oh.
I mean, look at him. He's still swinging, man. You can never count him out after the Muay Thai fight. You just can't. He goes a spinning elbow there.
Yeah.
Even that shot, he got dropped there. And even that one, he still landed a shot on Seksan.
And the thing that I loved about this fight too, Will, is that both of them got caught with some hard shots, and both of them wanted to make up for it immediately. Yeah, there's no backing up at any point in time. Seksan lands an elbow, then Harrison starts throwing elbows. Harrison lands a right, and Seksan starts throwing bombs. Look.
Yeah.
He just starts marching
right
forward.
hand. And that right hand. And that left hook, like he was still tagging him. And there's a big shot right there.
That's the one that goes down. Madness. Deafening.
Definitely. Yeah, it was that fight set the place on fucking fire. I mean, the Lineker fight also was unreal for the crowd, but this fight, it seemed like people, you can't watch that and be like, this is cool. You can only watch that and be like, this is fucking incredible. Like, people, like what people can go through. You see him get dropped and come back and drop and come back and still going forward, throwing spinning back elbows and big shots. And then he even said, like, he was like, in the post-fight press conference, he's like, someone's got to donate Seksan's body to science. because like the man needs to be studied because he's like I hit him with hard. He's like, yeah, I hit him with hard shots, and after the fight, I asked him like, what did you feel? Like, did you even feel my shots? And he said no. I'm like, what is this guy made out of?
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah, it was insane. Yeah, and Austin saw people online said online it got so insanely loud during the Lineker fight, like loud as they've ever heard in an arena. What they said, like, dude, it was so loud, and then Lineker goes fucking Lineker mode and starts swinging from the hip, and it like I thought it was already as loud as it could get, and then it just like it got crazier, and then it was like an audible next step up,
And you could still hear Lineker's shots landing
yeah.
on his forehead. Like, that's how hard the dude hits. Yeah. But absolutely amazing co-main event. Again, I couldn't have come up with a better setup leading into the main event. And, Genevieve said something earlier. Was it Genevieve, I believe, that had mentioned the matchmakers?
Yeah.
Well,
Matt Hume's head matchmaker, right?
But the thing is, it takes more than just matchmakers. It takes fighters that are willing to say yes to anything that's brought to them. It takes fighters like Harrison saying, this might be my last fight, but I don't want to go out just fighting, an easy fight. I want to go out against another legend. Well, that's what it takes.
Well, he was asked too, like, did you know this was going to be a retirement fight? And he kind of said, like, no, like he's like, there wasn't a doubt in my mind that I couldn't win this fight. I thought I was going to beat this guy easy. He's like, the fact that I couldn't shows me that I'm not at my game like I thought I am, and maybe I shouldn't be able to.
His body just won't do what his mind wants him to do anymore.
Yeah, and you gotta fucking respect that, man. Gotta respect that.
By the way, at the end of the fight, he takes his gloves off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, everybody's like, wait, he's taking his gloves off. He sets him down in the middle of the ring, in the middle of the cage, and everybody's like, what's going on? And
you can even
Will
see
even pointed out.
Mitch was like,
yeah, because he walks out, and Mitch is like looking around like, hey, what did you just retire? Yeah. And then like he calls him and tries to wave him back over. Harrison looks back, shakes his head, and then walks off. And
well, he did. He walked up to the door. I saw him walk up to the door like he was about to go back in, and then he turned back again.
Yes, so and we found out later on that he was instructed to leave, right?
Yeah, by an athletic commission official said like, all right, yeah, it's time to go. Because even Chachi was like, yeah, we didn't know he was going to retire. Like the production wasn't set up to give him like a retirement speech, but obviously we were going to. But then he left, and we were like, what do we do? And yeah, basically, like a ringside official, like someone from Colorado, basically told him like, all right, yeah, let's get you out. You lost.
Yeah. Hey, whoever that is, way to ruin it, dude.
Yeah, way to kill the moment, dude.
Yeah. Hopefully he's watching right now.
Yeah. Hey, lose
my number. All right, man. We still have a lot of fights to cover here.
We're gonna skip some. Let's just go straight to Lineker, huh? We already talked about it.
Okay. John Lineker versus Asa Ten Pow.
Yeah. Muay Thai.
Yes.
For Lineker.
First Muay Thai, right?
This was first Muay Thai. Yeah.
Yes.
Do I have to skip through a bunch of slides? No. Here we go. All right.
There we go. So, hey, classic Lineker. We know he's just going to be throwing bombs no matter what, right? MMA, Muay Thai, doesn't matter. Get ready for those hands of stone. And he did not disappoint, man. The thing that I was a little surprised with was the constant attack to the body.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Digging to the body. And he's always been heavy body shots. But Asa Ten Pow was doing this a lot, shelling up a lot, right? Mm-hmm. And if your head is covered, your body's not, so it's like it was just fucking flawless. And I saw a lot of people say like this was the ugliest Muay Thai fight I've ever seen because Lineker's literally just fucking hooking with the boys. And Genevieve also says it's easier to reach than the head for him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, look at the stance of Asa Ten Pow here, and they're the same height.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
So yeah, body shots are there for the taking. But and Lineker's just always been a dog and has always gone for body shots and stuff, but he really went for him here. I have we can just let's do this instead. I'm going to instead of going through the slides for this is one that I actually have good fucking video of. I don't know why I didn't do this for the Harrison fight. because I have video for that too. But let's just use our footage, huh? Because it's very rare that
Oh,
we have footage from one fights.
yeah. Okay. Let's I was gonna say that was our footage, the top view.
No, no. I mean, so basically, this whole fight, Lineker is going Lineker mode and just walking him down, trying to throw, like, stifling the Muay Thai game, saying, "I'm not going to
Yeah,
let you fight this fight like a traditional Muay Thai fight, getting your clean strikes off. I'm going to fucking bring it to you and put you on the back foot and do what I do best." And you know, the crowd fucking loved it.
yeah. I mean, Lineker's already a fan favorite as it is. He got a massive ovation, a huge pop as soon as
Yeah,
he walked out. But then this is why,
yeah.
because he's always
Once he
down to
smells
just
blood,
throw.
dude.
And dude, come on. I know that we're mentioning over
Oh,
and
his
over again
body
that it's Muay Thai, but he doesn't have to worry about a takedown. Lineker?
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
my
Yeah.
god. He's already a scary individual. There's the right hook to the body. And the more that the fight continued going on, see, he lands that elbow up top, and then he's gonna go to the body again here pretty soon because he's just landing all these shots up top. And look, there it is again.
There it is.
He just softens him up
I
every
mean,
once in a
dude,
while to
it's
remind him.
fucking crazy, dude. This guy's a savage, man. I mean, look, and props to Asa Ten Pow. This guy's got a fucking chin on him, huh? This
Oh
dude
yeah,
is
yeah.
tough as nails.
Oh my
Most
god.
people
Look,
would have.
listen, this Blunderbuff says put him against Superlek for fun. No title. Let's fucking go. Awesome. Lineker versus Seksan right now. Dude, like I'm telling you, this is so funny.
Dude, just insane, man. And
Yeah,
there's, I don't want to, like, I mean, Asa Ten Pow actually got good shots off in his
he
fight.
did.
Like he threw a nice step in knee, which is a great attack against someone like Lineker at that height, and landed flush on his chin. Lineker is just a fucking, it's just a fucking savage, dude.
He's a little tank, dude.
Yeah, he really.
Look at that. He
Fuck,
just
dude.
yeah. Amazing. And by the way, look at our view, huh? I don't ever want to watch another fight live if it's not like this ever again.
You're like, I can't go back to the.
I can't go back. I just
Yeah,
can't. I just can't. What a win. Fantastic showing for Lineker.
yeah, it really was, man. It's cool to see him get the props, man, because a lot of people thought he made the mistake when he left the UFC and stuff, and I was fucking hyped for it, dude, because he gets opportunities to do stuff like this, huh?
Yeah,
I mean,
amazing, dude. Amazing.
yeah.
Props to Lineker.
Oh, here's the
Bada
meme.
bens. Bada bens.
Yeah,
Very
actually,
good.
last person I saw from the trip was Lineker in the lobby. I shook his hand right before leaving the hotel.
Oh,
Very nice,
really?
very cool guy. Yeah,
Oh,
he's just
man.
chilling. He's just like probably felt great.
Yeah. How about what fight are we gonna cover next? Oh,
Let's
we're
go
going straight
straight
to
to.
Adrian Lee. Let's do it. Why not? Adrian Lee versus Nico Cornejo. Ate breakfast with Nico Cornejo. Seemed like
Yeah,
a really
on
nice
Friday.
guy. His crew seemed really nice as well. So shout out to him for being a very nice guy.
Yeah, really cool guy. That being said,
We also
and who
interviewed
else is really
Adrian Lee.
cool? Yeah, Adrian Lee.
Nicest kid ever.
I told someone on Reddit yesterday. I was like, this guy is. I'm so fucking impressed with him, and obviously, like obviously the potential's there, right? Just because of his family, but like inside and outside of the cage, this
Yes.
guy is fucking. How is he 18 years old?
I
That
don't
doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I've always told you that you're an old soul. Colleen can
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
agree with me. I've always told you since day one you're an old soul. But this kid right here is wise beyond his years, man. And I know that he's with the legendary Lee family, and I'm sure that they've been
Mhm.
helping him and guiding him. But still, for him to be able to take all this information in
yeah,
and do what he's doing and to carry himself the way that he's carrying himself, super impressed with the kid.
yeah. And like, I'm not surprised because of his family. Like Angela and Christian both are just like role model type fighters, right?
Yeah.
Like not everybody is, right? Some fighters are. Both of them are. So I'm not surprised that he's like this, but it is surprising that he's so composed. Like at that age, like at 18, like I was fucking not like that when I was 18. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
basically, so we met him right at the hotel after the face offs. There's like a big like open area in the hotel, and it's kind of like there's like a crowd over here. I think he and Christian both were doing like a meet and greet off on the one side, and there's fighters leaving the press conference or the weigh-ins and face-offs, and there's people getting photos of them and stuff. After a while, we're all just kind of standing around and stuff, and there's still like commotions going off every once in a while over there. And then we look over and Adrian's there with his family, Christian's there with his kids, and they're just kind of off to the side, like all like in a circle. And we're like, dude, should we just like try to interview him? Or no, we were just like, let's just go say hi and like introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
And we were like, hey man, like great to meet you. Like good luck, all this stuff. Like we'd love to interview you sometime this week or later down the line. And he's like, let's just do it right now. We're like, huh?
Yeah.
And he's like, you guys got time right now? And we're like, yes.
Yeah. Let's do it.
and like, and I mean, we have footage. We put it on YouTube, right? The interview and stuff. But like, we chat with him for a bit. The whole time, Christian's there with holding one of his kids by one leg and one arm on the same side, just swinging them around, and the kid's like having a blast. And we're interviewing Adrian and asking him. I mean, just quick stuff, right? Because it's like just in the moment, he's like, "Let's do it right now." And we're like, "Okay, well, we're not going to do like a full ass interview."
And also, like they had places to go, right?
Yeah,
So they were
exactly.
like, "Hey, like, can we make it a quick interview?" And we're like, "Absolutely, man. We're just happy
Yeah.
for any time, you know."
Oh,
We're still gonna reach out to him and see if we can get a lengthier interview with him, go a little bit deeper into his life,
who he is. Right?
But hopefully, everybody enjoyed that 1 minute interview. I felt like it was a lot of fun. It seemed like he had some fun as well, and we were able to carry that over into the post fight interview.
Yeah, and so the real like, I mean, there's some questions there, like how you like Denver, like what do you want people to take away, like just good questions. But the real question was, what's the post fight meal going to be? And he was like, either bread or pizza. And we're like, all right, sick. That's one of my favorite things because like I'm someone who will go all day without eating and then just go hard at the end of the day. So like I can appreciate staying clean and then going super hard with the meal. And fighters understand that better than anybody, right? So we go through the fight. Another masterclass by Adrian Lee of just putting things together. There's certain fighters that are just like complete, and like mixed martial artists. They're not a striker first. They're not a grappler first. They're fucking mixed martial arts first. Mighty Mouse, GSP, Volkanovski. Like these are those guys who the striking leads to grappling. The grappling leads to striking. They put it all together perfectly. I'm not saying Adrian's at that level yet, obviously, right? He's 18 years old.
But you see it come together.
But you see the glimpses of it, and you see that path for someone like this because his striking leads to his grappling grappling leads to finishes. Like, and he just had his way in this fight. He gets the rear naked choke, and he gets the bonus. Christian's in there. He gets the bonus. And Mitch is like, "You're fucking 18 years old. What are you gonna do with $50,000?" And he's like, "Food. I want to buy pizza."
Such a sweet kid, man.
Yeah, and so then we go backstage, and then we go backstage and we interview him, and you asked him, "All right, we talked to you before. You said you're gonna get pizza after the fight. In the post-fight interview about the bonus, you talk about pizza. Like, sell it once for all. Does pineapple belong on pizza?" He says yes. He laughs and says yes. We asked Christian. He's like, "I don't even eat pizza, so I'm not even gonna." But then, so he says, then later that night, if you don't follow him on Instagram, follow him on Instagram. He puts on his story a video of him like gleefully yelling as he's zooming in on pizza that's in front of him.
So awesome, man.
Fucking like inside and out of the cage. This guy is he's so like mature. He's so calm. He's a killer in the cage. He's so like pragmatic in the cage, and it totally fits who he is outside, But then, like at the same time, he's fucking 18 years old and he's getting stoked about pizza. You know what I mean?
By the way, those post-fight interviews, Will, those are all posted on one's YouTube page?
Actually, if you want to watch that video, the post-fight interview that we did with Adrian and Christian, check out Nick Atkins' page on YouTube because he put it's like a little scrum. It was us, Nick Atkin, and Val over from Cagecraft podcast. We all interviewed him after the fight. And Nick's a fucking pro. If you don't already follow him on everything, follow Nick on everything because like there's levels to everything. First off, this whole week would have been way worse if it weren't for Nick. He fucking really
a lot tougher.
It would have been a lot tougher. He like I don't think he even realized how much he was like showing us the ropes because this is our first big event that we've ever covered as credentialed media.
Yeah.
So like being able to kind of like piggyback on him and his experience, for him it's nonchalant, it's not like a big deal, but for us, like that really helped us figure out where we're supposed to go, what we're like, how this worked, like all that stuff. So follow him on everything. Check out his YouTube channel. He has the interview that we did with But the reason I say there's levels to this is because we're interviewing Adrian. Christian's off to the side. He's like, actually, can we get Christian in here also for the interview so we could? And he asks him like, what did you think about your brother's performance? And it's like, I wouldn't have even thought to ask Christian to join in. Like, I didn't think that's even possible, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, check out his YouTube.
Well,
For
the
the
reason I
interview with
asked is
him.
because, look, I absolutely love our listeners. We have some like diehard, right?
Really
Join us
cool,
every single
yeah.
week, and I appreciate
Fucking-
y'all. But if you guys can just do us a favor, anytime you see one post anything about like post-fight interviews, anything like that, like if you just mention story of the fight in there and the fact that you
Ooh.
enjoyed seeing our stuff on
questions.
there, our questions, it's probably more likely that they actually either reach out to us when there's another event, or that when we reach out to them, they're like, yeah, come on ahead, right? So please do us that favor. It'd go a long way. But yes, Adrian Lee, amazing guy. I keep on calling him a kid. I should stop calling him a kid. He's 18 years old. But dude, 18 years old. What are you doing? But you want to move on to the next one?
Real quick, the last thing. One of our questions another thing that just shows that he's like wise beyond his years, and just like, I wouldn't have even thought of this as an answer. We asked him, besides your family, who are some fighters that are like inspirations to you or that you look up to, right? That you learn from, or you know, and he says, Mamarilla and Cornejo, his two opponents in one. He didn't name Mighty Mouse. He didn't name George St. Pierre. He didn't name the greats that like, oh, I look up to Khabib's style influenced me. He names his two opponents as guys that pushed him to get better so that he was confident in fighting.
Amazing.
Like, what? At 18 years old, that's your answer? Fucking, that's crazy, dude.
So good.
So yeah, jump on the Adrian Lee train.
For
Guy's
sure.
fucking awesome.
And we go from an 18-year-old young man to somebody we could truly call a kid, right? Because he's not of age yet. But we had Jojo Ghazali versus Josue Cruz, man.
God, dude.
Another kid that's super nice, right? We're sitting down in the lobby. We're at the table. Will's editing some videos. I'm posting stuff on social media and scrounging on the line for anything I could find. In the interwebs, and JoJo's walking by, and I just peek over and say, "Hey, JoJo, how's it going, man? We really enjoy watching your fights. We'd love to get you on the podcast sometime soon." He's like, "Cool. What's your guys' Instagram?"
Yeah, he walks
Instagram.
up like, let me see your page.
Yeah, he just goes, starts following us right away. He's like, "Cool. Send me a follow. Cool. I just accept you guys. Yeah, hit me up. We're gonna get an interview done." And I was like, "Awesome.
Yeah,
great kid."
So look
with
forward
the family
to that.
the entire time too, hanging with his family the entire time, close knit.
The whole week with the family in the lobby, just hanging out. We saw him fight day 2 in the hotel. And he's just real low key with his hoodie on, his hood up, and he's just like, "What's up, guys?" Just chilling, you know, like just you know, and it's so crazy to see because like he walks up like just so, and he's so heartfelt and just like calm and like just like, I mean, he's 17, he's a kid, right? And then you see him walk out, and you're like, oh God. This guy's terrifying. Like he hits so fucking hard. He's screaming all the time. As soon as you hit him with a good one, he screams back at you. And you're like, Jesus Christ, man. He flips a switch like a savage, dude. It's crazy, man. And
absolutely love to see it, man. Absolutely love to see it. You know, and the thing is, a lot of times you see this hype come through with some of these younger fighters. And you're like, okay, I can kind of see where the hype's coming from, right? In this case, you see the hype coming in for JoJo, and you're like, this guy is a superstar, man.
Oh yeah. And you know, he just had a setback. He had his first fight. It went to decision and he lost. And it was a close fight. That I actually, when it was going to decision, I had thought he lost that fight, but it was close enough where I was not going to be surprised if they gave it to him. And as soon as they announced that he lost, I was like, you know what? This is probably the best thing that could happen to him right now, because up until this point, he's flatlining adults with full-on careers in Muay Thai. And at 16, 17, he's beating up men, knocking them out with like one-punch knockouts. That's very good, but similar to like how we were talking about Haggerty, it takes a loss to make you address something and work on things better and more intently. And I was like, this is probably going to be the best thing for him to lose right now in a decision where he's not getting knocked out, and he can then improve his game, say, all right, maybe I'm not just going to be able to walk through and one punch KO everybody. Now I need to start addressing things. And then in this fight, he got a one punch KO.
And, you know, leading up to this, but correct me if I'm wrong, Will, but Josue Cruz is one of the ones that was struggling to make both weight and hydration, right?
Correct. Correct.
So we
Yes,
already
he
know
was.
that he was having a hard time making
Mhm.
weight, making hydration. So I was already thinking, okay, going against JoJo, probably going to be a tough night.
Yeah, yeah, and watch out for body shots.
Yes, holy
Yeah,
smokes. But he did catch JoJo. I believe it was with a couple of
yeah,
rights. Even JoJo said during the post-fight interview, he's like, yeah, he caught me and gave me a bloody nose.
yeah. Well, yes, he did. When he
What
got
a
the
picture.
knockout, it was literally right at the bell, right? The round ended as he went down, so they give him the count. And one, you can't get saved by a round, so you still get a count even if the round ends while you're like getting knocked down. He
Hmm.
doesn't make it back up, so they call it. He immediately jumps on the cage, wipes the blood off his face, and licks the gloves like BJ Penn. And I was just like, this guy's a fucking savage, dude. I love it.
He did it a few times. While
Yeah.
he's sitting up on top of the cage, he's doing that, and then they pick him up again, and he starts doing it again. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God, this guy's terrifying at 17 years
It's,
old, beating up
yeah, dude.
grown men.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
But
And real quick,
yeah, go
Ozzy
ahead.
says this may be the first time I've ever seen Chatri outside a suit before. It was the day of the fight that we saw him in the lobby, and he was wearing his gi, and we were talking to him. He's like,
Yeah.
"I'm about to go train, so I got to split." Little did he know it was his last time training as a brown belt because he got his black belt from Henzo during the event.
Shout out Chachi, man. Very nice. Glad he
Chatri,
got his black belt, man. Much deserved. But yeah,
and Henzo too.
anything else from this fight? Because we we're
Yeah,
well over an hour.
we're just gonna do one more. We'll go straight to the first fight of the card. Your boy,
Johan?
well, yeah, Estupinan versus my boy Sean
Sean
Climaco,
Climaco.
out of San Jose, out of Smash Fighter. So it's really cool. It's rare for me to have local fighters in one championship, right? Like it's just not something that happens often because it's mostly like the East.
Yeah.
Um, and a lot of people were writing him off on this one because so far Estupinan is fucking. I mean, this guy is electric and he's very dangerous. And a lot of people were writing my boy off. And while he did lose this fight was still insane, dude. Pure insanity, this fight. Um, yeah.
Yeah,
And
dude,
it's
a lot of
it really set the
energy.
stage for the event, you know,
A lot of
because
energy.
this was the first fight.
And his energy never faded at all.
Yeah.
From the very
Mhm.
beginning to the very end. And dude, there was a couple times actually where they were trading where you could lead like the face that he's making right now from the picture that you had on, where he's like
Mhm.
grilling. He was kind of
Yeah,
doing that a
dude.
couple times during the fight too, but biting down on the mouthpiece. So he's somebody that's willing to go toe to toe with his opponent.
Yes. Well, like
And
Chummy Boy says, he needs to work on some defense, man. Both of them were swinging. Yeah, this was an
yes,
all offense fight.
all
All
offense
offense.
fight. And I think this is a situation where I mean we were even talking to Stupinon's coach, and he said I think my guy's gonna finish Climaco in the first minute. We're like,
Yeah.
really? He goes,
We're like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah. I'd be surprised if it went past the first minute. So he was
yeah.
surprised, I'm sure, because even he saw us afterwards. He goes, guys, I told you
Yeah.
1 minute I was wrong, right?
Yeah.
But I, he came out with some energy right off the bat, coming in with
Mhm.
flying knees from a distance, lunging ahead. So the expectation was we're going to finish this fight. And we're going to finish this fight quickly, which I think
Yeah.
going in
They
there with
definitely
that
tried.
mentality also brought the defense down.
Yes, 100%. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Yes,
I just like this picture too because it reminds me of Step Brothers when they hit each other in the
with a
front yard.
bat in the golf club. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's basically what this fight was. They were both just fucking tagging each other. But Estupinan got the finish eventually. But I do think there's a good clip on one's YouTube. Um, let's see. Yes, there is. So let's actually just watch this. Let's see. I know we're already an hour and 10 in.
Yeah, and I appreciate everybody hanging in just to talk one here.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't really watch the UFC this weekend.
There's just way too much going on this entire
Yeah,
weekend. Honestly, I'm still coming down off my high from being in Denver and going through this event, man. It's
yeah,
been hard to sleep for you, boy. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Oh, look at that flying knee coming in. He's coming in with that
It's
second
crazy
jab.
fight.
Very little head movement while he's doing this. By the way, the video's coming through choppy for me. Not sure if it is for everybody else. If so, I apologize. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Just hooking, knocking each other down over and over again.
And
Genevieve saying the UFC prelims were incredible this week. So much blood.
Yeah, good. Oh, there you go. Genevieve's probably stoked.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right.
Yeah, Blunderboat says great eye injury this week at UFC. That's actually our boy, War
Yeah,
Taco, Chris Padilla. Saw the Superlek knockout and was like, I could do that. And instead of knocking somebody out, he basically knocked their eye out. Crazy. I did see that one.
So gnarly.
Because that's, like I said, that's our boy. We've been trying to have him on, and we just haven't got the scheduling right.
Yeah, so much going on, man.
But yeah, that's Estupinan versus Climaco. Another one that we got to interview. We'll post that. And you know what? Ramiro went hard in that one because
All Spanish.
All Spanish. I didn't think he was going to do that. We're like, all right. They shout out Bear. He comes over and he's like, all right, anybody after the fight? He's like, anybody want to interview Estupinan? We're like, yeah, let's fucking do it. And we're like, all right. We don't have any questions, so we're like, all right, what are we going to ask? We're like putting together some questions. It's like a quick interview. We just got like 3 questions, right? We write them all. Ramiro writes them down. We go in there. I got the camera recording it. And all of a sudden, Ramiro goes and just like, well, Spanish. We're like, oh, shit. And he just goes full Spanish. They brought a translator in. And we're like, fucking not needed, dog.
Yeah. Hey, translator, take a hike, huh?
Take a hike.
See you later, huh?
Yeah.
Let me handle this. But, dude, honestly, I decided to go Spanish because I figured, dude, if we're going to get the real answers, the real Estupinan in this case, right?
Yeah, and who he is, right?
Yeah, and who he is. I wanted him to be able to respond in Spanish. Me talk to him in Spanish. We got a lot of energy out of the interview. Fantastic backstory, you know, from Johan. And so I wanted to make sure that I touch on that as well. But overall, fantastic interview.
I still have no idea what he said. I don't know how he answered our questions. So I'm still waiting on your translation of that back to English.
Hey, translator, take a hike.
Come back. Oh.
No, take a hike. I got this.
Yeah.
I got this. But yes, that was the last the last fight we're going to cover.
Yes, but there is one more thing we're going to cover. I know we're late.
Oh,
the boy.
I feel like instead of calling him the boy, we can call him our boy now, Will.
Sure can.
Because we hung out with this. Look, we're going to cover a lot of the experience, right?
Hell,
but this was probably the highlight of the entire trip for me, was having an opportunity to hang out with DJ and his dad at the lobby, talking football, watching football with him, talking shit about his picks.
Yeah.
Going back and forth.
You're talking about the opportunity to hang out with him and talk to them. How about the opportunities? Multiple times, like 3 times we hung out with him on different occasions throughout the week.
And the fact that I never would have thought in a million years, Will, we'd be sitting down in the lobby and that Mighty Mouse would walk up and look at us and be like, yeah, guys, and just start talking and pick up where we left off the night before. Not even about fighting.
Yeah.
But just all around life, sports, you name it, like down to earth guy. Somebody else, again, chilling with the family the entire time. Hilarious. And the thing that I love about Mighty Mouse is, like, you see Mighty Mouse, the personality in the cage. You see the personality in the
YouTube,
podcast,
Twitch,
and then you see him in person. I kid you guys not. He's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Hilarious, high energy.
That's who he is.
I've always loved Mighty Mouse, the fighter. One of the best to ever do it. I absolutely love Demetrius Johnson, the man, the father, the son, the husband that we got to see. Absolutely amazing guy. Couldn't say enough nice things about him.
Dude, it was just so great. Like, we're just hanging out and talking with him, and he's going through his fucking 11 leg parlay that he plays. And we're going through each leg of the parlay.
Price Picks, promo code Mighty. He kept on telling us. Promo code Mighty. So funny, dude.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just crazy going through each step of his parlay, critiquing each step of the parlay, talking a little bit of shit with his dad. The day of I think it was the day of the fight that we hung out with his dad for like an hour, right?
Yeah, super nice guy. Super nice guy.
Yeah, nicest guy in the world. We're just
dropping life wisdom as well, which I really appreciated.
We weren't just talking about fighting. We weren't even talking about Mighty Mouse. We're just talking about life, talking about living in different states, talking about raising kids with sports and lessons. Like, just all around so cool. And then to see him retire that night, it's just like, you're like, fuck, dude.
Surreal.
Like, it's just surreal, dude. It's just, I mean, we kind of both had a feeling that's what they announced. They said before, like, oh, Mighty Mouse is going to come out. He's going to have an announcement. That's
As soon as I saw him there with his wife and his kids and his parents, I was like, oh, why else would you bring an entire family along for a big announcement unless it's a retirement, right?
Or unless you're fighting, right? And he's not fighting. He's not going to, his announcement isn't, hey guys, I'm also defending my belt this card. Like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. He just tears off his suit, dude. He just has his shorts on and they call in his opponent. Now
Somehow
that would have been crazy.
Somehow when he pulls the sleeves down, he's got gloves on. You're like, what?
Yeah. Hilarious.
But I mean, yeah, just so cool. And to see him retire, like legitimately, like one of the best claims to be the GOAT. And everybody talks about the GOAT, and it's like, oh, is it John Jones? And it's like, it's either John Jones, Fedor, or Mighty Mouse. And it's like, it's tough to go John Jones because he's failed multiple drug tests, right? So that like taints his resume for a lot of people. Mighty Mouse, if you want to talk about the pound for pound best fighter in the world, it kind of has to be Mighty Mouse. Because what pound for pound is supposed to be, right, is if you take that skill set and apply it to any weight class, like if he was at that weight doing it, right? Like the whole point of pound for pound was made to market smaller fighters, because boxing had a hard time marketing smaller fighters because everybody wanted to watch heavyweights because they get big knockouts and stuff. So they thought of a marketing tool to market smaller fighters and say, hey, you might not get the big knockout from them, but the skill set that they're going to display is so much higher than what a lot of these heavyweights have that's what we're going to choose to market. And if that doesn't exemplify Mighty Mouse to a T,
yeah,
and then even despite that, he's still knocking people out. That knee that he knocked out Cejudo with those knees, the flying armbar, the slammed to mid-air armbar that he lands against Ray Borg.
Amazing.
The knockout against Adrian Moraes, after getting knocked out by him, he comes back and knocks him out, where he rocks him, and then he's like following him back to the cage.
Fakes
to then
the
land
knee, hits him with a big right, and then just follows it up with that massive flying knee. So good.
I mean, it's just like, and then like Austin says, never popped for drugs, zero controversy with Mighty Mouse. Was always a big favorite of mine because growing up at the time when he was starting his reign in the UFC, I was probably in high school, or probably high school. And he's out there back when the UFC wasn't a totalitarian state, when fighters could have sponsorships. He's out there with the Xbox sponsorship, and I'm like, this guy's a fucking gamer, dude, and he's fucking a champion. Like, it was just so cool, like, so to see him retire truly is like an end of an era, and to still retire on top, dude.
Yeah.
Like, everyone says like, oh, Habib retired on top, and that's impressive. It is. GSP retired on top. I think it's even more impressive because he left, came back, got another belt in another weight class, and then retired on top still in another weight class. That's very impressive. But to not just do it, to have 9 title defenses or something crazy like that in the UFC, then to leave the UFC to get a belt in another organization which has very good fighters at that weight class, who actually cares about that weight class. The UFC couldn't care less about that weight class. Gets the belt there, loses it, comes back, knocks that guy out, and then beats him in the trilogy. Like, that is, and then retires. That's so on top of 2 organizations. Like, that's crazy, dude. And then he has the fight with Rodtang, where he survives a round of, not just survives a round of Muay Thai against Rodtang, but lands his own shots in that round, and then submits him. Obviously, that's what was going to happen if he survived the first round, right? But like, talk about a legacy of just cool shit. Like, what a fucking career, dude. And we were talking to his dad. I asked him, like, dude, it must feel, because we were talking about football and head trauma, and I was like, well, you got to think, because we're talking about a lot of those football players end up rough later on in their life.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you got to be feeling pretty fucking good that your son, up until this point, little did I know he's fucking retiring that day, but up until this point, really hasn't taken that much damage. Like, he's not just been in the fight game and not taking that much damage, but to have that level of success, title defense after defense after defense after defense, and to rarely even be hurt, like, that's insane, dude.
It's rare. It's rare. So you don't see it very much, man. So
no.
Congratulations to Demetrius right, for the
Yeah.
amazing career. Congratulations on being the first one inducted into the One Hall of Fame. Like, not
So
only are you
cool.
going into the Hall of Fame, but they literally started. They said it's time to start the Hall of Fame for One now for
Yeah.
you specifically because you deserve it. Just
Yeah.
amazing, man. And Will, I'm on the flight back from Denver, and a question popped up in my head to ask Chaudhry. And I thought to myself, shit, missed opportunity. But to have been able to ask Chaudhry, looking back at the trade,
Oh, whoa. Why didn't we
and
ask him
sitting
that?
here now, inducting Mighty Mouse into the Hall of Fame,
What
retiring
a
on
good
the top of
question.
his game, champion. Looking back at that trade now, what has that trade meant for the organization and for you?
How did we not think of that?
I did. I thought of it, but
Oh, yeah,
I was
but
on the
too
flight
late.
back.
Oh,
But wouldn't that have
man.
been an amazing question?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Fuck. Well,
Missed opportunity, dude.
maybe we'll ask him at the ceremony.
Maybe we'll see. All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us and for talking 168 was absolutely an amazing event. It was the best event that I've ever been to live. Seriously, I just don't know what's going to top it. MMA's equivalent to the Herschel Walker trade. Will does not know what you're talking about right now, Ganscal, but I could tell you that
Yeah, Herschel Walker, the
100%.
fighter.
Oh,
He
Lord.
fought in Strikeforce.
Yes. Also, the Cowboys running back that was traded for multiple first round draft picks where they got Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith. Yeah. But yes. That Herschel Walker. But yeah, absolutely amazing event. And again, just a small teaser here. But we have what we consider to be a lot of amazing footage. And
Yes.
we hope to put together the One Experience vlog for you
Mhm.
for all to enjoy and to see what it is that you get to experience when you go to One. Before we go,
Well, real quick too, Chummy Boy says you guys going to cover the one card September 27th. Yes, we are going to. We're definitely covering that. So stick
yes.
around, subscribe if you didn't already. I think you've been in the chat before, Chummy Boy. But yes, we will be covering that. I don't know where you were about to go with that, Ramiro. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's all good. I was just gonna give some thanks, Will. Did you have
That's
anything
what I
to
was
say
going to do
before?
too.
Yeah. So please let me know if there's anybody I missed here. I wanted to thank everybody in the media who absolutely welcomed us with open arms.
Yep.
Val, Rick, Nick, Atkin, of course, just absolutely amazing. And then those folks from One, man, that just made this trip absolutely amazing and unforgettable and treated us like we're first class media when we're covering our first media event. Ty, Bear, Sammy, of course, Cyrus, and then Chaudhry, for taking time to talk to us in the lobby. Just absolutely stand up guys, amazing organization. And all these people that I mentioned, I mean, they're running different parts, right?
Yeah. And it's
Of the
fucking
organization.
crazy, man. And like we said, going up into this event, there's so many mishaps with fight pullouts, things like that. The fact that they pulled it off at the level that they pulled it off is it truly is incredible to watch. Like to be there and watch the machine working and to see them nail it like this, really impressive.
And it was so weird, Will, because I've never met these people in person, right? The
Mhm.
folks that I just mentioned from One, but I had this overwhelming sense of pride the night after the fights when we got to see them, and you saw
Mhm.
smiles across the room. Everybody was
Yeah.
celebrating. Everybody was having a
They
good time
fucking
because
killed
they
it.
were over the top excited and happy with how well the event had gone. And they
Yeah.
said, like, hey, it was shaky sometimes. Like, there's fights that were coming
Yeah.
and going, but they
Mhm.
absolutely pulled it off. So for what it's worth, Will, I'm sure I could speak for you too when I say this, but just extremely proud of the event, the level of success, and the way that they came out on top after the night. So just absolutely amazing. Did I miss
Yeah.
anybody though, Will?
I do want to run through some names as well. Ty,
Do it.
Sammy, Bear, Cyrus, Chaudhry, Matt, Ray, Dom, all those guys, incredible to us, super nice, fucking
Rachel,
welcome,
the
like you
intern,
said. Raquel, I think.
Raquel.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was a whirlwind, right? But like you said, yeah, the media, Rick, Nick, Val, like all you guys, just fucking Pepper. Shout out Pepper.
Oh, shout out our boy Pepper. Yeah.
I mean, just fucking, like you said, post. What was it? What'd you say? Post PED. Post.
Post-event depression. I had
Yeah,
PED
dude.
for sure. Post-event
Yeah.
depression because I just didn't want it to end. It was so amazing. Everybody made it that good.
Yeah, it really was insane. Every night we went to bed and we go back to the hotel room and we're like, what the fuck, dude? This is so fucking cool. Like everybody is just so fucking nice. Everything's working so well. Like we're just fucking. Yeah, Ganskow.
Oh,
Fucking. I knew we forgot someone. Okay, Ganskow, the fucking legend, dude. I was gonna pull up. I didn't upload the photo from my phone. I took a photo of Ganskow across the arena because he's rocking the Story of the Fight shirt. Fuck, dude, I was so pissed because after the event we do the post-fight press conference, and then by the time we leave the arena
and
I
actually
was,
see the messages.
yeah, because I think when we got to the presser area, I didn't have like an internet connection, or if it was like, or maybe it was spotty or something on my phone, so I didn't get Ganskow's message where he's like, "Did you guys leave yet?" Until after we did, and it was like way later. I would have told him to stick around because we definitely wanted to meet up with him, but we just fucking didn't, and I'm so bummed that we didn't, because he was there in the crowd with the Story of the Fight shirt, repping the boys. Fucking damn, it would have been cool.
Yeah,
Would have been cool
and
to link up.
I sent out a message to Ganskow too, apologizing, and in all honesty, man, like it was our first event. We didn't know, like as soon as we got to the event, we're gonna start working. We didn't know how much longer we're gonna be there after the event, and also due to the fact that it was our first event. Like I don't know about you, Will, but I was worried about like leaving because I had FOMO. Like I didn't want to leave that section.
Oh yeah,
in case, and there was a few times where we'd be in the section and somebody would come up from one and be like, "Hey, are you guys available right now? So and so's in the room waiting to be interviewed." And so they just pull us, and that's why I was like, I just can't leave.
Yeah, no, true.
But
And
most definitely, yeah, go ahead.
Shout out my mom as well. Thank you, mother, too, wearing merch here in Sonora, California.
Shout out for sure. But yeah, thank you, everybody. It's been an absolutely amazing ride. We can't do any of this without y'all. So we really appreciate the support. When I say that, I absolutely adore all of our listeners. I absolutely do.
100%.
I'm like a kid in a candy store. We're still chipping away. We're trying to live our dream. And we just started this. Just a couple guys want to talk about MMA, and we said, hey, let's go ahead and broadcast and see if anybody wants to listen. And we're close to 15,000 subscribers, right? So we really appreciate y'all.
Yeah, and Austin, thanks for the coverage, guys. As a longtime One fan, it's been better having this channel to come and talk about it. So happy you guys had a blast. Will wasn't joking. He really converted.
He really did. Really did.
But that's very cool to hear. A longtime One fan, and this channel has made it even better.
Dude, how about really we're walking to the hotel.
Ganskow, what the fucking Ganskow is so fucking cool.
Oh,
Donated $10. Shout out Ganskow.
Thank you.
Fucking legend, dude.
Just so you guys know, you don't have to, right? I really appreciate it, but just so you guys listening, it means a lot. And again, surreal. We're walking to the hotel yesterday and somebody like just drives by us and was like, yo, Story of the Fight, love your podcast. And he just kept on driving. And I was like,
what the fuck?
All right. And then
Ramiro looks at me and he said, we made it. No, he didn't say that, but
no, I did. But and again, last favor I'm gonna ask. Anytime that you see that one coverage coming through from 168, please just mention Story of the Fight. Let them know that you really enjoyed our coverage. And so hopefully that way they get us back and we'll continue giving you guys behind the scenes coverage, whatever coverage we can get you.
We're working, I took the day off tomorrow from my actual job so that I'll be working on a lot of that footage to put together something cool. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That's coming. Just so know, like, the coverage hasn't stopped. Like we're still working on something that is a result of this coverage.
Absolutely. More to come. Thank you, Will, for producing tonight's show. And thank you to everybody. There's so many folks to name, so I can't name them today. You know who you are, though. Absolutely appreciate it. Thank you for listening to another week of Story of the Fight.